All right, and we're live. So, what's up, everybody? Red Cloud Gamer here. Joining me, as always, the Green Sween. What's up, Sween?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I can't complain. Sitting here, minding my business. Played some games today. Now we're gonna do a little podcast recording.
Yeah, nice.
You know what? Before we actually start anything, because this broke right before we started this, I'm gonna pop this up on the screen. Boom! This just in: Bloomberg reporting that Microsoft is in talks to acquire Discord, a video game chat community, for more than $10 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. I don't have any sources here. This is just something that pops up on Twitter. Bloomberg is a check mark. I mean, you know who Bloomberg is. Everybody knows who Bloomberg is. I don't have to explain that.
Yep.
It There's at least talks. If this is up here, then the conversation's being had. I find in my experience that typically if there's something like this goes public, that means the talks aren't just talks. They're very close. You know, we heard about Bethesda not very long before the Bethesda purchase was announced. So this looks likely. I look at it and I have to wonder. I remember when Microsoft grabbed Skype, you know, forever ago,
Yep.
and they did integrate it with Xbox. It was like on the Xbox One built in right away. I used to use it to talk to some people that had moved away, you know, Sean and whatnot.
Yep.
But like they never really did anything with Skype, and it essentially just went away. Like I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's just like it was a widely used, prominent thing when they bought it, and then it kind of died. And then they bought the whatchamacallit, the Nokia phones, and they did you know, the Windows Phone stuff, and that kind of died too. So I have to wonder, as much as I would love for them to use Discord, especially in console chat, giving me chat across different consoles and whatnot. Are they going to introduce it into Xbox, or is this just like a, you know, we got to remember that Microsoft isn't just Xbox. Microsoft is a massive company that Xbox is a part of. So is this a
Yeah.
Microsoft thing? Is it going to be included in Xbox? And are they going to run it into the ground like they have other things? I really hope they don't, but their history isn't great. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's an interesting take on it, definitely. Especially when it comes to right off the bat. Does it come to Xbox? I mean, we've talked about numerous times on this podcast. I could say at least 2, 3 episodes. We've talked about Discord being on consoles and how convenient that would be if we could cross chat. I'm not even. I'm more concerned with not having cross chat than cross gaming. Just because I just don't understand how that's not a thing. And it's not that I don't want cross gaming more. I just don't see why this hasn't already been worked out.
No, I absolutely agree. Like, you know, when you bring in crossplay, you have to bring in a way for us to chat efficiently. And so far, no one's really done it, especially with, you know, I hate to throw stones at your beloved Nintendo, but, you know, their chat
Oh,
options
throw the
on
stones.
Nintendo are lackluster to begin with. So,
Very
like,
lackluster.
I've always wanted Discord to step in and essentially release a chat app for PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And maybe being Microsoft seems to be a company more willing to work with its competitors. Maybe now this could be a thing where we do see Discord branch out and reach the other consoles.
Yo. So you told me about this right before the podcast because this kind of broke out by Bloomberg before the podcast. But there were some other rumors before that, based on what I saw on Google. Multiple sources were saying this is in the work. Bloomberg is really just the one that kind of sets it in stone and really keeps it. Anytime you see that check mark, let's face it, it matters.
Right.
Um, but there are some rumors, and on top of that, from what I was reading, I guess Discord, no matter what, is trying to sell, no matter what,
Well, yeah, I
even
mean,
if it's
if
not
this talk
Microsoft.
comes up, someone's trying to buy it. You know,
Right. Well, I think Discord. I think it's more towards Discord's actually trying to sell it.
like
So
for it to get this far in conversation, you gotta want to sell it. You know,
yeah,
you can't be like, we don't want to, but we'll let everyone know that we're thinking about it.
right. But at the same time, somebody could have complained. But when you see a different rumor that Discord's looking to sell, I mean that pretty much, why not Microsoft? And that's what I think
Yeah.
about instantly. So I wouldn't take that with a grain of salt. I would look at that as pretty credible.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's, you know, seeing it pop up like that, I think it's likely something that'll happen. It's obviously not a guarantee. We saw a couple months ago that Microsoft was interested in purchasing TikTok for an even bigger amount, and it didn't happen. So it could go away. But I don't know. I feel like that one probably happens. Microsoft's made purchases like this in the past, so yeah, I
Unless
think so.
Discord backs out. Yeah, unless Discord backs out for whatever reason. Um, yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
just figured we'd start the show with that because it just happened before the show. Bloomberg had just reported. With that, NSX Gaming Podcast episode 14 underway. You want to hop in with what you've been playing lately?
No, I'm gonna redirect it to you. What have you been playing lately, Mister? That's what we're gonna find out.
Well, as always, I'm always playing some Call of Duty, mixing it up with my friends. I finished the Battle Pass for Season 2 a couple days ago, which was nice.
Already?
Yeah, actually, it took me a little while compared to last time. I mean, the first Battle
Actually, yeah. What is
Pass.
that? A month?
Yeah, it's. Well, I think I've got like 30 days left or 29 days left, so it took like a little over 2 weeks.
I'm saying it's been out for a month. It came out February 20th,
I think 25th.
25th. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I finished it like
2 days
I think
before
2 or 3
Pokemon Day.
days
That's
ago.
why.
So I actually the first one I finished in 9 days, but I had COVID. I wasn't, I didn't. I shouldn't say that. I didn't have COVID. I had COVID before that, but I was already mostly recovered by the time it came out. So when it came out, I was just on COVID quarantine and pretty much just playing games a whole lot.
I miss quarantine. I do.
Don't say that. It might come back.
No, it can. I'm welcome.
Other than that, I mentioned to you that I played this. A buddy of mine at work told me to play this, so I brought up some footage I just captured. Bug Snacks.
Oh, cool. All right. I remember you were playing this for about an hour the other night.
Yeah, this was that game that it got announced at the PlayStation Showcase, and everyone was like, "What the hell is this?" It's from the people that did what is it? Not Octopath. Octodad. Octodad.
Okay.
It has that art style to it. It's weird, man. It's very weird. You
This looks up my alley.
you play as these weird little creatures. Well, you play as one of them that are on this like island that someone went on an expedition to, and you find these bug snacks. And bug snacks are like creatures that like you and I know of, but they're all like redesigned to look like snacks. So like you just saw some spiders scurry across the screen, but they're actually friters. When you see them with the light on them, it's going to be like an upside down container of fries.
Oh, I can't
With
play
little
a game
French
like
fry
this.
legs out.
I'll get diabetes. I'll get diabetes. I
Yeah,
can't play this.
it's
I can't watch this.
well,
No.
it's gonna be on for a minute. So, yeah, it's interesting. A buddy of mine at work told me to go ahead and play it. I've had it. It was the PS Plus free game right when the system came out, and I downloaded it then, but it just didn't look like something that was really up my alley. He told me to go ahead and play it. That it's a fairly easy platinum trophy, and that there's some amusing points in the game. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Did you get the platinum?
I'm not done with it yet. I'm about halfway.
Okay.
I'll probably hop on it again after we finish this. And yeah, you can see these weird creatures, man. Lizbert, whatever her name is. Megafig. Yeah. It's interesting.
Fryers.
It's something that I think
Sounds delicious.
kids would play and enjoy. Although, I guess I should say fair warning. I don't really think this is a big deal to me or most of the people I know, but like the two people that were just on the screen, like they're both girl characters that are like in love. So I'm sure there are some people out there that wouldn't want their kids playing that. I don't really care. I'll let my kids play anything, and if they've got questions about it, they can ask me and I'll explain.
Wait, they're in love?
Yeah, like they're a couple, the two girls.
Oh, so what?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
I know,
like I
but
said, some people will be upset. I myself, that doesn't matter to me.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sitting here like, what are they? Are they gonna make love? I'm like, what is going on?
No.
I'm like, why would you not want your kids playing? I was so
No.
confused for a second.
Well, I only say it because my friend at work like stopped to tell me like, hey, before you play this, just so you know. And I kind of thought, I was like, it's kind of sad that we're still at a point where people warn each other about that. But you're right, there are people out there that would be upset. So, yeah, there you go. It is out there. It's an interesting game. It seems pretty short. I'm only about 2.5 hours in, and I'm probably 50%, maybe a little over 50% through the game. So, yeah, I'll finish it. I'll get my platinum, but I'll probably never replay it. I'm happy it was free. I would have been mad if I bought this.
Yo, just want to throw it out there for for just a little unrelated, but for anybody who actually bashes that kind of stuff. Uh, I don't know why I could see people on this fan base doing it, but Apex Legends, believe it or not, one of the most popular games, actually, Gibraltar is gay. If you read his bio, they tell like his little backstory and everything, and they have the comics, and he was like, he lost his arm protecting his boyfriend.
No. Well, you know what?
But I'm just saying,
We're,
yeah, like,
we're in an age where that shouldn't be something that we hide. I mean, not to say that we ever should have hidden it, but we're in an age where it's become commonplace to just be fine with who you are.
yeah. I think we definitely moved a better direction. So I mean, we got to give credit where it's due to the people of our generation, honestly. And
Yeah. Uh, I guess that's really all I've been playing, except when me and you did some footage the other night.
Apex Legends.
Yeah. I have that. If you want to talk about that, we can bring that up. I've got a little side by side. You check this out. We've got my. I'm playing on the Series X, but it's not the Series X version. There is no Series X version yet, so it's still the 1X version, just played on my Series X, and you're, of course, playing on the Switch. I tried to match the footage as best as I could to do our little comparison. Of course, we played. I died right away on purpose so we could get the like-for-like footage.
Right.
And the video, I think, came out pretty solid. So, right off the rip, you can see a massive difference, man. The frame rate is noticeable instantly.
Yeah.
It's much smoother on my side of the screen.
No,
I'm happy. I'm really happy that Switch owners are getting another battle royale. I wish it was Warzone because you might have actually convinced me to turn it on.
Oh my god, it's a whole nother thing when you watch it.
Yeah, it's noticeable, right? Like,
Yeah.
I brought my son in here earlier to check it out, and he was like, "Dude, I couldn't play that." Like,
I bet.
uh,
Yo, give me credit. Dude,
yeah, you got
gotta,
wins. You got wins the first night, so it is
first
playable. As much as I'm gonna complain about the graphics because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am a bit of a graphics whore. It's playable, and like I said, I'm happy for people that haven't had access to it to get access to it. From what I'm seeing online, it's got a lot of players on Switch, so it's doing well, and people are enjoying it.
Now, I am gonna say I am noticing some parts, maybe on my end from the recording, where it is a little bit more laggier than it would have been in person. I am noticing that just a little bit, so I think that's
Yeah.
on my end because
Well, we have established that the computer you use for capture isn't so great at doing multiple things at once.
right.
But you can kind of tell when it's running smooth.
Yeah,
That
that's
it's
pretty
clearly
much.
at 30.
But don't get it wrong; it also did have its terrible moments yesterday. And I don't know if we're gonna make it to that, dude. But oh my god,
No, I think I cut this footage after the first fight.
I gotcha.
But I did notice while I was watching the footage, we're not Digital Foundry. I'm not going to give you like breakdown, tech analysis, pixel count, and stuff. I love Digital Foundry, and I think they're just too good at that for me to bother trying to do what they do. Just turn to them if you want it. So when we do these comparisons, it's really just like the average gamer comparison. Just two guys that play a game telling you what we see when we play it. And as I look at it, I see a game that is playable if you don't have access to the better versions of it. Like, I know you're sitting at home and you've got that Xbox One I hooked you up with. I would probably play this on the Xbox. Not probably. I would definitely play this on the Xbox One instead of the Switch.
Right. I mean, the only reason why I really don't even play Apex too much, but I don't have the Xbox hooked up because I got to get the entertainment stand for the TV. I don't want to put it on the floor. I got carpets.
Makes sense.
No good. No good.
I'll tell you, as I'm looking at this, like the texture quality is immediately noticeable. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
it's toned so far down.
So
There's some geometric issues too. If you pay attention, there's spots where things are just outright missing on the Switch version that I'm not quite certain which, like why they are. I mean, again, I'm not Digital Foundry, but there's some stuff like lying on the ground that has no real physics to it that is gone. It's not there, and in the Switch version. And I'm like, I don't know why. If it has no physics, it shouldn't be too much of a hit, I would think.
Right.
Looking up this hill, it's massive.
I mean, so here's the thing: a lot of people have been like pretty much review bombing the shit out of this for Switch. Um, I'm gonna give my real take on this, dude. It's like you said, dude. If you have an Xbox in your living room, there should be no reason you're playing on the Switch, unless you're playing handheld. Unless like you got like chilling with your girlfriend, you're chilling with some family, they're watching some TV. All right, you want to play Apex and you want to pop out on handheld
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
you can win on handheld. I know it's even lower pixel, but I mean, if you're in the right place, right time, and you're like focused, and you just get kind of lucky with not having a bad frame drop at a bad spot, you're gonna be all right. You have decent teammates. I mean, dude, there's been games you saw I posted on Twitter where me and a Switch user had 1,100 something damage each, and he had 6 kills and I had 3, and then our teammate was on console and he had no kills and 200 damage.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you consider it's a handheld system, you really do have to applaud what they've pulled off here. It really makes you wish that there was like a legitimate pro dock or something like that that gave you extra power, kind of like that initial trademark or not trademark patent that they put out showed boxes combining together to share their power, because it
Right.
does feel like you're mostly getting the handheld version, a little bit more stable, but even on dock, it's so compromised that it's just never the ideal way to play.
No, it's not gonna be. But and like, but at the same time, was that ever the expectation? And that's where I feel like the reviews are getting a little lost. It's like I don't really know what people are expecting. I mean, I mean, here's the problem though: is that Nintendo Direct might have thrown some people off
Yeah, that footage they showed at the direct looked better than this. I
a
do feel
lot
like
better.
that footage was being played on something else, and
But
they
here's,
probably should have went a little out of their way to say, "Hey, this is not the game.
but at the same time, we
This
both
is where
talked
you
about it.
die."
We're yeah, a couple times.
And look, on your side, that's so stuttery.
I mean, I still had some decent chances.
All
Even there, I
right,
had
went
chances.
back to mine. I also brought up, just so we can look real quick. I made a little video that cuts through some of the pictures, comparing them one to the other.
Oh,
So,
nice.
startup screen. I mean, right there, just the level
Yeah.
of detail in the character model, the shading, the lighting, the
Sure,
drop in
sure.
right here. The
Yep.
textures are incredible. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's actually like extra stuff in the game. This looks very flat. If you look at it, you can't see any depth to the image on the Switch.
Oh my
On the
God. Yeah.
Xbox, you can.
Even deeper behind the wires, if you look you can see the
Yeah.
panels back there.
This,
Yeah.
you're missing rocks on the hill right here. They're going to magically appear on the Xbox. Boom. You know,
Yo, we talked about this though, and that could be an advantage for some Switch users
yeah,
because of
no,
like things like the
the
tall grass.
grass in particular. Like if you're crouched down in the grass on Xbox or PC or PlayStation, on the Switch you're not, guys. You're just fucking crouched down on a flat ground.
What is scary is to think that we're even though you're playing on a Series X, is that we're looking at the Xbox One version.
Well, the One X. So like the One X is significantly better than
Okay.
the One.
Okay.
But yeah, the Series X version, when it eventually comes out, is going to be even better. These
So I
textures,
mean,
I can't get over. They're so soupy.
so it's really interesting. We're kind of looking at what we want to see from the Switch Pro, the upgrade we would like to see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
feel like that's kind of the bar you set right there, right? Is like that's what we want to see the Switch jump to, and I'd be happy with that for a couple more years, definitely.
I do have let me see. I actually put some of those screens I can just bring up. So this is
Yeah,
the Switch. You were picking Bangalore, right? I think I said that right.
yeah,
I don't play
that's my
Apex that
main.
much. You
Yep,
know that.
yeah,
Um,
Bangalore. I think I did one as crypto because I bought them.
right, right. I remember that. And if you
Yeah,
look at her, like you can see under the shoulder pads, there's like not really shading on her.
yeah,
Uh, and it's like suddenly it appears in the Xbox version.
yeah. I watched a ton of these. I understand the compromise. But at the same time, despite the direct, despite the compromise, we're playing on a Nintendo Switch. We've seen, but I mean, there are some good ports that are like they stretch the boundaries for sure. I say like Warframe. I've always said Warframe from the day I got the Switch. That was one of the first games I downloaded, and it was impeccable. Um, I think Fortnite has come a long way on the Switch, to be honest with you. Not saying it's a perfect port. You're still at a disadvantage, but it's definitely you're definitely in a better state on Fortnite than when you launched. Dude, I remember you would fall on top of roofs on Fortnite, and you would be on an invisible house for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it took a while to load in all the geometry and buildings
You
and
know,
whatnot.
that's just not a
This
thing anymore.
I know
But
it's crazy, but this picture in particular really like
yeah,
looks dramatically better to me. Like such a
it's
simple
interesting.
thing as you just rip this control panel off the wall, but on the Switch it's so flat. It's lacking shadows.
You
You
know,
just,
and like I said, focus on behind the wires when you flip that image.
yeah, like the
You
whole
see those
image
metal
gets
brackets?
depth
It's so
that
clear.
just
Yeah,
wasn't there before.
these are nice images you took here, dude. For comparison.
This one in particular, the ground textures are so low. I mean, I haven't played on the PC in a while, but I would imagine these are lower than the PC's low settings. And
Yep.
then like that's
Yeah,
night and day. That's not even close. It like some of the geometry changes when you look at the rocks, they're formed better. There's obviously new rocks altogether. You can still see that the Switch is putting out the same game, just the settings are toned massively down to make it
I'm
happen.
trying. I'm trying to look in detail at the gun right now, where you have like the 48 and the 2 times. I'm just trying to look at all that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
even
mean,
even the
you look at the textures
well,
of the
like
gun.
look. More importantly, look at the reticle. Like, look at the reticle when you do that again. Like, look how clear it is that you can't even really see the dot on mine. Go back. You can't see the red dot on yours. You could see that orange dot. I mean, you could see it, but it's really really blurry.
Yeah, no,
That's hard to
it's
see when you're
clearly
aiming
better
it.
here.
Yeah. You could just see it's so blurry. You can't even really tell if that's a full circle. You have to like really look in on that, So that's interesting.
See, like
Obviously, you don't notice little things like that until you slow it down.
this spot right here, I didn't quite match the picture of because your gun vanished, but you can see she's standing on something in the Xbox version. It just vanished in the Switch.
Oh my god!
And
You
then
got to do what
dropping
you got to
in,
do.
you're dropping in here and you can see all these flat textures, and then all of a sudden there's so much clearer. There's grass down there that wasn't there before.
I'll tell you what. I can't wait to see what they do with PS5 and Xbox Series X on this game for Apex. I can't
I
wait.
honestly think you're mostly gonna get this game that you're seeing right here, except it's gonna run at full 4K, and then you're likely gonna get like a 1440p 120 hertz mode. This is another one. If you look at like, I know the pictures don't totally match up. I didn't do great on stopping at the same point here, but the Xbox version
Yeah,
is actually
that's
zoomed
insane.
further out and still has much more detail across the board. Especially you can see the reflection in the window and more of the world outside of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's insane.
And then the last image is this one. This, I mean, you can see the shield over here is just like a red blotch. Uh, all the trees, all the textures are just very muddied. Like it's almost like you're looking through glasses that have water all over them. You know, and then they get clear.
Yeah.
Now the shield actually looks like something that's there and is like kind of translucent.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if I had to be realistic about how I felt about this game, um, like taking account for what it is on the Switch, you know what I mean? Like, not saying overall, I'm not saying compared to every other console. I'm strictly saying for the Switch, this is how I feel. So I'm not stacking this to PC or Xbox or anything. But the graphics, I'd give it a 5 out of 10, flat out. For Nintendo, I would say that's 5 out of 10. It definitely could have been better. It's nowhere near perfect. It's heavily compromised. But yo, performance, I think I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I'm gonna tell you right now, we might have had a slip up that night, and that was the only slip up I really had in this game. A lot of the things I take fault for if I lost in Apex, because I mean I played about 30 games and I got about 6 wins. And I was playing console players. I was playing with console players. I was outdoing a lot of console players when I played.
I mean, I hear
Um,
what you're saying, but you got to think that like a lot of people that are playing this game just aren't that good at it. It's like when I play Call of Duty Warzone, you have
Sure.
150 players, and 80 of them are dead in the first 2 minutes. You
Yeah.
know, like more than half of the people that are playing any of these games, myself included, are not that good at them. We're playing because we're trying, and they are somewhat fun, even when you're losing.
Just realistically for the Switch overall, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's how I feel. A lot of people are giving it like fours, threes. I don't think so.
I don't
If
know
if I
because I haven't played it on the Switch myself. I saw your footage and thought it was absolutely terrible.
It
And
is.
I've watched the kids play Fortnite, and Fortnite plays significantly better.
I agree, but I'm just saying for the Switch. Well, Fortnite's not Apex. Apex is a lot more demanding, I would say, on the Switch than Fortnite.
If you look back to the screen, I'm trying to catch one of those frighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to like shoot some ketchup. He comes down to the thing. I close it. I run over. I pick it up, and then it says, "Bang! I caught a friter." And it's like French fries with eyeballs.
That's funny, dude. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a cool game.
it's weird. It's
Yeah,
Then
this
I
kind of
feed it to
reminds
this
me
guy,
like
and his arm becomes a French fry.
to a degree, this kind of reminds me of like Viva Pinata, but not Viva Pinata.
I mean, I guess
Like
I see what you're saying by like creating like living creatures out of something that shouldn't be.
I guess even kind of like the cartoony art style, like, and then like the creatures being like made out of snacks, and
Yeah.
then you collect different ones, and it affects, but it's not like in a garden. It's like just like a different take on that kind of game. I feel like almost,
But
and it's fun. It's got that like childlike humor, and it's wondrous. I like it.
I'd much rather have Viva Pinata back though, just for the
I
record.
know. I don't disagree.
All right, so moving off of Apex, I guess we'll sum that up by saying I don't think it was that good, and you think it was passable.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was okay for the Switch. Again, I say 7.5 out of 10, but for me, that's kind of like a lower score. I still think they got it done, and I think that's
So a
really impressive.
7.5 out of 10 in comparison to other Switch titles. Compare it to the Xbox version.
Oh, dude, yeah. Then you're talking like 4 or 5 out of 10. I guess that's where most people are giving their opinion. Is like, yeah, it's like a four. Seriously. No,
Uh,
I mean, listen. If you got another console, don't play on the Switch if you have to, unless you have to. Like, don't plug your Switch into the TV over your Xbox and play Apex Legends. That would be silly. But if you're trying to be respectful to whoever and you just want to play handheld, or if you just kind of want to give it a test, or if you got nothing better to do, or if you only have a Switch. I mean, Switch Lite users, God, I mean, you can't even put it on the dock. That's going to be hurtful, but jeez.
oh yeah, I didn't even think of that honestly. Like you completely lose that ability. That's whew.
But at the end of the day, for me, in like most of my wins, I'm not gonna lie to you, are in handheld. I'm gonna say at least four of them. The majority of them were actually in handheld, which is crazy to think about. But um, when I got a couple of wins within a couple of games, um, for me to have that experience on the Switch to be able to play a first person shooter and to get a couple wins and have fun competing and to have the voice chat and everything, just another way to communicate with my friends and make it simple. And I don't know. I just
No,
think
I
that's
mean, you
good
know
for the
what? If you
Switch.
were happy with it, then that's all that really matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we'll move on to Nintendo. I know that it was a kind of light week for Nintendo. Pretty much Apex was most of our coverage.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, pretty much. There was a couple more things. I guess I'll just breeze over it super duper quick. Actually, one thing we were talking about was Shin Megami
Shin
Tensei
Megami
3.
Tensei 3. Yep.
Yep,
What did we get? We got the official release date, right?
we got the official release date
May
coming in
25th.
May. Yep.
And then it's one of those deals where if you get the digital deluxe version, you get it like 3 or 4 days early. Is it 4? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you'd get it May 21st instead.
Yep.
That's pretty
Which
cool.
is
I
cool.
do feel like getting something digital, we should get it a little early. I know that they can't really do that too much, as it'll create some negative effects with your retail partners. But I think a digital game you should be able to get 2, 3, 4 weeks early.
Right.
Now, I don't think that Walmart or other places like that would take too kindly to you giving an option to buy it early when they can't do that. So that's probably why
Absolutely.
we don't get that.
Yeah, man. And then just two more things real quick. I'm still keeping up on my goal with the Pokemon. I've been on Pokemon Silver. I'm almost to the last gym on Pokemon Silver, so getting through that. And then I did record my first Let's Play video
All
for
right, you were telling me
Pokemon.
that earlier.
So we do got episode 1 recorded. I don't know when we're gonna release it 100%. I'd like to do it on a schedule, so I really want to think it out. But I'm
No, that
hoping
makes
we can
sense.
bring the Pokeverse into NSX and get some more viewers into it, get a whole different viewer base, and expand.
Just
And then the
my
last thing,
my own personal Poke fan over here.
yeah, right. Well, Nintendo guy, but with a focus. I got a Nintendo degree with a focus in Pokemon, huh?
All
No,
right.
no, but last thing. Speaking of Pokemon, which it's not Pokemon, but I thought this was ridiculous, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not like super excited, but I thought it was some crazy news. Shortly before the podcast, Niantic and Nintendo came out and made an announcement that they are making a Pikmin like Pokemon Go game.
Oh, like an
Uh,
AR game.
like the AR technology. Yep,
So
with
what? We're just
Pikmin.
gonna walk around the world and see Pikmin that we pluck out of people's yards or something?
And, and then what? Do we like launch him at like, dude? That could be kind of fun.
Yeah,
Not
I'd have to see it. I'd have to see this. I know you mentioned it earlier, but I didn't even get a chance to look it up. I'd have to see it. I know when Pokemon Go was announced, I was immediately hyped. This, I'm more intrigued.
yeah. Yeah, Pokemon Go was cool at launch. I think it was fun for the first couple. Like if you played it when it first came out, that was definitely the time to play it. When when every like third evolution was so rare and like you had to grind and just it was crazy when it first started.
You mean when Charlie Brown ran a stop sign and plowed into my van playing Pokemon Go? Is
My
that what you're
brother got
talking
a
about?
ticket. Yeah, dude. I
Yeah, I
I,
wasn't
I was
joking.
I was a pizza delivery guy when Pokemon Go came out, dude. True story. And I used to drive every day, dude. I used to leave work. I remember I used to walk up to my cashier and be like, "Yo," because I'd be there from like 11 to 11, dude. So like in the morning, I'd have like one delivery 11:30 every day. Go take it to Snowman's, and dude. Like after my delivery, I'd be like, "Yeah, just give me a call if I get a delivery, bro." And I just go around to Pokestops and everything, dude. And I was like the master because I was doing this full time, getting paid 7.25 an hour plus tips.
Yeah, I
But
got I got into Pokemon Go a lot when it first came out. I fell off pretty early. I've randomly gotten back into it a couple times, but
I think that's how it works.
yeah, I
And po-
actually I found out there's a stop at my job, and we did a raid at my job not not very long ago. I caught a shiny Thunderous.
oh, nice,
Yeah, the
nice.
people at work were pretty pissed that I got the shiny, and they didn't.
My job is also gym.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
gives you
So I
something to
do it.
do. So that's pretty much all of our Nintendo stuff, I guess.
Yep.
Well, all right. This is gonna be a little sore topic for you, but Animal Crossing celebrated its 1 year anniversary, and they had the Mario stuff. I know you're still pretty upset because you lost your file because it didn't go to the Nintendo Cloud stuff, which
I
sucks.
just
But
I'll end up getting over it. I got some time because here's the thing: is like I'm happy I'm starting my Let's Go Pikachu playthrough because once I'm done with that, I want to do my Sword and Shield and I do want to play through that game again. I never finished my deck, so I still have a reason to play. To be honest with you, um, so I do want to play through that, and I finished my original decks. Obviously, I never did the Crown Tundra. That's the only one I missed out on, but.
right.
I want to play through that, and then I'll probably start up an Animal Crossing Island again, and maybe it's a good thing that this happened, dude. Because I mean, I was kind of at a standstill with my island for a while, where I had what I wanted built, and it was great, but I wasn't really doing anything new, and I think maybe that's what took me out of the game was I lost. I did everything I wanted to do. I built the music stage in the backyard. I had the island all set. I had every villager that was perfect for the island. I was like, what else is there to do? And I kind of got
Well,
at a standstill. And
I don't want to spend too much time on Animal Crossing, but I do want to say
oh,
I
yeah,
think they
that's
did
pretty much
really
it.
good supporting the game the whole year. Like, not a lot of games get updates as frequently as them,
No.
you know. And like my kids still play. I fell off much sooner than you did, but the kids still play, and they did stuff for like they did stuff for each season. You know, different holidays, special things happened. I don't know. It just I like to see a game that got supported that long, and you know that's the best-selling Animal Crossing game. It's over 30 million copies. It's just pretty cool to see how that game had a lot of staying power and still does. I don't think that it's done. They'll have more stuff coming soon.
Oh, they did. They announced the spring updates coming. They didn't really talk too much about it, but I guess they are going to change around Bunny Day this year, and they're going to make it less annoying than last year because that shit was awful, honestly.
Yeah, that little rabbit, all those
Yeah,
cards.
he's haunting my nightmares. He's coming a couple weeks from now, and I'm terrified, honestly.
Uh,
Moving on. Moving
yeah.
on.
Moving on. Moving on. I guess last thing for Nintendo, we do have a pretty major release this week, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Monster Hunter Rise is coming out this Friday.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
actually,
Monster Hunter Rise too. That's not what I meant though.
yep. I'm actually off work, and so are my buddies, and we're actually doing a little Monster Hunter Rise party at my house on Friday. So we'll definitely be streaming some footage, and we're gonna order some pizzas. Hopefully, not like the story I told you earlier, but we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah. Well, that'll be cool. Um, I'm pretty hyped. Monster Hunter Rise is coming. You know, it's a franchise we've talked about on the podcast before. I've never really been able to get that into it myself, but I have a lot of friends that are, and it's obviously wildly successful. It's getting much more popular in the States since Monster Hunter World hit. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's coming out. You're really excited for it. I'm sure that we're going to get some coverage on here because of you.
I'm gonna get that Switch.
And I also wanted to point out, because my kid would yell at me if I didn't, that she's very much looking forward to the new Story of Seasons that comes out tomorrow. So I got to pick that up before I go to work.
Nice.
Yeah, she. I
That's
told
the
you
actual
before.
Harvest
Yeah,
Moon,
yes,
right?
that's the actual Harvest Moon. She
Gotcha.
made sure to tell me earlier this month, like, don't get me Harvest Moon, Dad. I want Story of Seasons. Like,
Smart.
I
Smart.
know. I
From
got it.
From what I know, I mean, I'm not like deep into the series like that, but from what I know, people lean towards the actual Harvest Moon Story of Seasons. So,
Yeah, well, you know, it's one studio originally created Harvest Moon, then they had to move on for whatever legal reasons, and they created like a spiritual successor, the Story of Seasons, while another studio got to make Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon is still a good game, but fans of the series typically lean towards Story of Seasons.
yeah,
So,
I thought Story of Seasons looked better out of the two personally, but
yeah.
just opinions.
And
That's all.
you know, my brats are all into that uh, you know, farming type game, you know.
Yeah, the only other one I did besides Animal Crossing was when I first got the Switch again, Stardew
Stardew
Valley, dude. I
Valley.
haven't played that in a while. That was a great game.
I actually just picked that up on an Xbox sale. It was like $8.
Nice, good pickup, dude. Good
Yeah.
pickup.
Well, we
Great
have it
game.
on Switch, and I think they have it on the computer too. And I
It's
was
a
like,
great
screw
game.
it, $8, why not? So let's
Yeah,
move
dude.
off of Nintendo.
Yep, agreed.
I'm gonna kind of breeze through PlayStation. They didn't have like a massive amount of news, but they had some stuff.
Yep.
So you know the PlayStation Play at Home program.
Uh,
So
I do not.
they did this Play at Home program last year because of the pandemic, and you know everyone couldn't really go outside and whatnot. It was like every month they gave away a free game. So
Okay, yeah,
last
yeah.
month they gave away they brought it back and they gave away Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 game, I think, maybe 2017.
Yeah, we
Uh,
talked about it.
right. So now they announced that effective March 25th, which what is 2 or 3 days from now, they're
Yep.
gonna have 9 more games. It's Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, The Witness, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Moss, Thumper, and Paper Beast. The last 4 of which being PlayStation VR games. You remember Astrobot? I had you check that out when you checked out my PSVR the one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That yeah. It's like yeah, I remember that.
I like that game. That
Yeah.
game's chill.
No, you know what? That was really cool. And I remember what I had you check out was just like the demo that came with the PSVR. in Astro's Playroom or whatever, and then it was popular enough that it got a real full-on rescue mission game, which I also have, and now we
Yeah.
of course have the PS5 Astro's Playroom experience, which is
Yeah, I
like
love.
a small game demo type thing, and I'm really hoping the same way it leads to a full-on Astro game, maybe late this year or early next.
Yo, bring Astrobot to Smash.
You
Why
and
not?
Smash, man.
I
Uh,
just want I just want to bring everybody into
nope.
Smash on.
Now Astro's gonna have to be in the PlayStation All Star Battle Royale too.
I hope they make it.
I do
I
too.
hope they do.
I actually liked it. It was repetitive. It wasn't as good as Smash, but it wasn't bad. Not being as good as the best of its kind doesn't mean you're not good.
Yo, it's hard when like yo, you see so many games like really start to go downhill, but Super Smash Brothers is one of those games. Like I'll tell you, Ultimate, I understand it's not the best in some people's mind, but I mean when you look at the roster, what it does with the online, I mean, I don't know. It's a huge roster. Huge roster. They found a way. I mean, if you're not gonna say it's
It's everyone
you're gonna
except
say
Waluigi.
I mean, a lot of people say Melee. There are still Melee tournaments, and I could see why. Melee was definitely a complete game, and it did have a lot of good features.
I'm actually gonna briefly bring Melee up in a minute, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, there was a
Oh,
big
stop.
Sony thing that I gotta mention.
Okay.
But rounding out play at home, April 19th, Horizon Zero Dawn goes into play at home. So if you haven't played it,
Oh,
it's free. It's Sony's Zelda. It's an amazing game. I do have a platinum on it. I beat it in like 4 or 5 days when it first came out. I absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the sequel, which we're hearing might be delayed till 2022. Something I think we're going to hear a lot of. But I'm probably going to play through Horizon Zero Dawn 1 again. I would love if they gave us some PS5 upgrades. That'd be cool. But I'll play through it anyway. Uh, More Final Fantasy VII Remake, whatever it's called, Integrate was shown. Just some more comparisons, PS4 to PS5, to show us what we're going to get. It looks really good. You know, texture quality is improved, reflections improved, lighting improved overall, character models look better. The game looked good already. It's going to look better now. So
yeah.
that's cool. MLB The Show 21, which I'm putting in the PlayStation thing because obviously PlayStation makes it. But we got to remember it is also an Xbox game this year. It got a 4K 60 FPS next gen trailer. It looks like MLB The Show at 4K 60 FPS. If you're a fan of the show, you're gonna like MLB The Show 21. If you're not, skip it.
There it is.
And there was a lot shown at the Square conference, but a lot of it was like re-releases or remakes of other games. I'm gonna jump right to Forspoken. If you remember the PlayStation showcase they had last year, they showed a game called Project Athia. It's now named. It's Forspoken. It is confirmed as a 2-year PlayStation exclusive. Uh, yeah, you play as like I think her name is Frey. She's just like some ordinary person who has to learn how to harness magic to survive this crazy, dangerous land of Athia. They said like thrilling, otherworldly adventure, and you got to face like treacherous trials as you attempt to awaken something more from within. It looks cool. I mean, it's a Square game. Square makes really interesting stories, and overall, I'd say that all of their games are at least a 7.5 out of 10. So I'm gonna check it out when it comes out. And I have to say, 2-year PS exclusive. Why not just PS exclusive? Period. At 2 years, no one's gonna even think about it coming to Xbox 2 years later. Just make it a PlayStation exclusive. It's fine.
Right. Right.
Like that's a long time, you know.
I thought the same thing when you said it. Honestly, that is a long, long
Uh,
time for an exclusive.
and
I don't
before,
think I've.
oh, what do you got?
No, I was just gonna say I don't think I've heard that. 2 years. I just don't think I've ever
Well,
heard that.
I'll tell you, Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be a 1-year exclusive, but it's been more than a year and hasn't come anywhere else. So
Right.
I don't know. Like, did they renew it? Did it just not come to Xbox at all? Who knows? I personally think Final Fantasy VII Remake will make it to Xbox somewhere down the line in Game Pass because Square has been having a ball dropping stuff on Game Pass. We're going to talk about that too. Before I move
Alrighty.
off of Sony, Did you see that they bought EVO?
Oh, Evo is
The fighting
who
game
ran.
tournament.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. They ran the Smash tournaments, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
No, I know because of that
No.
whole free melee shit, right?
No, because Sony bought it, so Nintendo's pulling Smash.
Oh, the end.
Yeah. So Sony spent, I think it was like 900 something $1 million, just shy of a bill to get Evo. Um,
Wow. I saw it on a headline. I didn't really click over it, so I really don't know as much.
I don't know why. I don't know why you buy Evo instead of just making your own fighting tournament. Like, it's not like they actually own anything except the tournament itself. And one of the biggest things about Evo is the Smash tournament, which you just lost. So I'm not sure why you spend $1 buying Evo
Because they're
when you could have just
like a
made your
PS5
own
battle
PlayStation
royale.
tournament. Yeah, but you could have made a PlayStation tournament without buying anyone else's tournament. Sony's got a big enough brand to create their own event like that, no problem. But whatever, they did buy it, and as a result, Smash is being pulled from Evo. I did. I watch the Xbox Two podcast every week, and the host there, Rand Thor and Jez Corden, they were talking about it, and Rand suggested that perhaps it's because they plan to buy exclusive rights to Street Fighter Six, as they did with Street Fighter Five. I normally think he's like spot on with the stuff that he says. I just don't understand how owning Evo would give you any better help towards getting rights to Street Fighter. That Capcom has nothing to do with it. Yes, Street Fighter's there at the tournament, but you could just go to Capcom and say, "Hey, how much to get exclusive rights?" Like we did last time. You didn't need to buy anyone's tournament to get those rights. So I don't think that that has anything to do with it. I think we'll have to see what happens. Maybe there is a PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale they're gonna put in there. Part two. I don't know. Interesting, but I'm moving on. Xbox.
Right, let's do it.
So Microsoft released some Game Pass stats. Did you see these?
No.
Yeah, it's just a quick thing. They said Game Pass subscribers spend on average 20% more time playing video games because they have access to so many more games. They invest more time in them, I guess.
Makes sense.
They play 30% more games overall. Again, obviously, you have, instead of the however many you would normally buy, you have access to another 100. You're probably going to play a few more. They play 40% more genres. So people are branching out because of Game Pass, and that makes sense. I find that having things like Netflix and Hulu and whatnot, I do watch some stuff that I probably wouldn't have watched before, but I'm just lying here in bed and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Same thing's going to happen with a game service. But the last one is the one that I think matters. Xbox Game Pass members spend 20% more money on gaming overall than non Game Pass members. That right there shows you that Game Pass is a sustainable thing. People
Oh,
that have Game
absolutely.
Pass are spending more money on games than people that don't have Game Pass.
Yeah,
Anyone that's still making the argument like, oh man, Game Pass, isn't sustainable. Microsoft can't keep doing this. First off, Microsoft's rich. They buy billion-dollar companies for fun because it's Tuesday, And second, they're making more money because people have Game Pass than they would if people didn't.
right.
Moving off of
Absolutely.
that, Microsoft renamed Xbox Live today. Xbox Live is now called the Xbox Network.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed
What?
it actually. I didn't mention it to you the other day or last night or whatever it was, when we were doing our captures. I noticed that on my system where it normally says upload to Xbox Live, it said upload to Xbox Network, and I was like, what the hell? I've never seen it say that. And then
No
today
way.
they made it official. Xbox Live is being called the Xbox Network.
That's insanity.
I hope that it eventually means that Xbox Live Gold goes away and you don't have to pay to play online anymore. I think Game Pass Ultimate can easily make up for the difference in money. So hopefully that's what happens. Not a prediction. I don't know, but hopefully.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Marvel's The Avengers last time, right?
Yeah.
It got its next gen upgrade this week.
Nice.
I played a little bit of it. I probably should have said that in my games I've been playing lately. I barely played. I just turned it on just to check out, how it runs.
Surprise.
It looks noticeably better. The resolution is significantly sharper. Um, it does run at 60 FPS. There is a mode that's you know, like the main mode is dynamic 4K 60 frames, and then there is a mode that's like full on locked 4K at 30 frames. Both are great. Whatever you want to play. I prefer 60, so I'll play in 60. But if you want to play 30 with some better visual settings, go ahead. It does have some noticeable improvements. You can check the Digital Foundry analysis to really get that. They'll explain it much better than me. Mostly it's like particle physics. When you're like destroying things, there's more particles. They're actually physicalized, so they like move around and react to things. It's pretty cool. But there's like a weird little side issue. Did you hear about the save issue with Marvel's Avengers?
No.
So, Microsoft really spent a lot of time talking about smart delivery with the series consoles, where you get a game on one Xbox platform and you have it on all of them, and it recognizes where it is and gives you that version of the game. And it really takes away any complexities you might have seen otherwise. So essentially, you buy Marvel's The Avengers on Xbox One. You have the Xbox One version. You have a One S. A few months later, you buy a Series X. You turn the game on. It recognizes that you're playing on a Series X, and it downloads the Series X version automatically. And now you're playing that. It just knows what to do. So people that upgraded from the Xbox consoles, the Xbox One to the Xbox Series, they just turned on Marvel's The Avengers this week. It downloaded their save file, and they instantly started playing, no problem. On PlayStation, it's a little bit more of an issue, and people are making it out to be like a massive issue. I don't really think it was. I did it myself. It was more of a hassle than Xbox, but nothing dramatic. Essentially, you have to turn the game on its latest update on the PS4 version, either on a PS4 console or on your PS5. Go into the settings and upload your save, and then turn on the PS5 version fully updated, and it will prompt you to download your save. The issue is, if you're someone like you, who got rid of your previous Switch when you got your new one, if you don't have your original PlayStation that you played the Avengers on, you don't have the save to upload to the PS5. So you're restarting the game. So there are some people throwing a fit. They think they should have been notified. I mean, I wish it was easier, and obviously it is on Xbox, so it could have been done. I think the big problem here is honestly a knock on Sony's cloud saves. I don't know, because you don't play PlayStation anymore. Microsoft naturally utilizes the cloud. They were ahead of everybody on the cloud. They really dove into it right away, and because of it, it's made this a very easy process. Your files, you upload something to Office and you have the Microsoft account, it's going to come up on your phone's Office, your iPad's Office, your computer's Office, your laptop's Office. It's everywhere. It just automatically goes where it belongs. And the same thing with Xbox. It uses the cloud for all saves no matter what. On PlayStation, you get a limited amount of cloud storage only if you're a PlayStation Plus user, subscriber. So if you have the free PlayStation account, you don't have the cloud saves, which means if you didn't transfer the save from the Avengers to a USB device to put on your PS5 manually, you can't transfer it. You lost it. It's gone.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think most people probably have PS Plus. Not all of them, but I think most people that have a PS5 right now, early adopters are likely people that have the whole ecosystem bought into. But I do feel bad for those that are affected. Moving off of that, kind of just trying to fly through now. I talked to you about FPS boost. Microsoft making 5 games run from games that were 30 FPS bumped up to 60, or even one of them bumped to 120, which is really impressive. They added 5 more, all Bethesda titles.
No way.
Yep.
Give me a
So
break.
you got Prey, Dishonored, Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. They're all 60 FPS now without any work from Bethesda, which is really cool. One thing I'll say here is all of these games are fine anyway. I do prefer 60 period, so I'm happy with it. But I shouldn't have said all of these games are fine. One of them wasn't. Prey ran like crap. I haven't played it since it first came out, but when I first played it, it was like it just felt wrong to play. The input lag, the frame rate, nothing was right, and it like literally felt sluggish. Like I would hit a button and there was like a noticeable amount of time before it did what the button did.
Right.
That's not the case anymore. I turned Prey on myself. It plays like you would want it to now. It's like I don't know if I would say the preferred way to play, but definitely better than what it was. So yeah, more FPS boost. I hope we see more than this. You know, I think it's something that is really cool. Microsoft has done really well this gen, uh, and you know Xbox One and Series gen at preserving your old purchases and making sure that you don't feel left behind. Like, oh man, I had to abandon my old games because I got a new system. No, your games are coming with you. They're running better. They're looking better. Some of them are boosting their frame rates double, or you know, new Super Lucky Tale is quadruple in one case. So it's really cool to see. I hope to see more. There's a few I would like to see. We did get confirmation that the publisher, even though they don't have to do any work, the developer or anything, the developer or publisher does have to agree to allow it to be done. So there's some that I don't think are going to happen. Red Dead 2 in particular is one that I really wanted to get up to 60 FPS. And I don't think that Rockstar's going to say yes. They're probably planning to release like a Red Dead 2 Xbox Series X version to sell to you, and they don't want to give you 60 FPS for free on the game you already have when they could sell it to you later. Some companies would rather just make that money. Microsoft's one that would rather do right by you and just get you to stay in their ecosystem so they make their money in the long run. Whatever. Back to Game Pass. You actually sent me this. I missed it. Octopath Traveler is coming to Game Pass. So the former Switch exclusive, the you know Square's love letter to you know that era's RPG games, you know 16-bit RPGs,
Yeah.
is coming to Xbox. No longer a Switch
Can you believe it?
exclusive, although it was on PC already. But now console-wise, it's coming to a new console. And let's be real, if I told you last week that Octopath was coming to another console, you were not going to guess that Xbox was the one.
Yeah, it was.
No.
Why wouldn't I?
No, you
We're
were
in love.
definitely going to think it was going to PlayStation.
Phil Spencer
And I'm sure it will at some point.
and Iwata have some things going on. Listen, Doug Bowser and Phil Spencer have been in the talks.
All right.
Okay.
Well, those two have nothing to do with this particular thing. Doug Bowser has no input on where Octopath goes.
Absolutely none.
But yeah, it
Listen,
is
what I'm
coming to
saying
Game
is
Pass. That's really
Nintendo
cool.
and Xbox have been in communication, and that's
Over
what I'm telling
Discord, they've been in communication over Discord, which Microsoft is purchasing.
you. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Microsoft confirmed there's a indie focused event for March 26th. Supposedly over 100 games will be shown. I'm looking forward to a few. I don't know if you remember they showed this 12 minutes game last year. A little indie game where you're like stuck in an apartment and there's a murder and you just play the same 12 minutes over and over figuring out what happened.
Indie games are such a hit or miss for me, honestly.
I absolutely agree. Um, Sometimes they're great, amazing. Sometimes I'd rather not talk about them. But that one looks really interesting. And whether I like them or not, it's always good when there's more games being shown, more games being made, more games being released, because someone out there likes them. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, it's important. I mean, we still need them.
The Outer Worlds. You remember the Outer Worlds, the new Obsidian game that's kind of like Fallout.
Yo, you know what? It's funny that actually got a lot of patchwork on the Switch, and it's actually kind of tolerable now. But yeah, I know the game.
Well, it actually just got a new patch on
Hey,
Xbox Series X to get its next gen version. 4K, 60 FPS, better textures, much better load times, all that stuff that you expect to see is here, so that's awesome. If you didn't play the game already, or if you played it and found that the 30 FPS was not to your liking, give it a shot now. It's pretty cool. And I didn't actually see that. This happened a month ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever. Early this month. And I missed it. Overwatch got a next-gen update. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, I completely missed this, man. A buddy of mine at work had to tell me. So I looked it up. It's got 3 modes. It's got resolution mode, which is 4K 60 frames per second on the Series X, 1440p 60 frames per second on the Series S. It's got balanced mode, which is 1440p 60 on the X, 1080p 60 on the S. And then it's got performance mode, which is 1440p on the X, 1080 on the S, but at 120 frames per second. I gotta tell you, coming from a generation where we very rarely saw 60 frames per second stable, I'm thrilled to see 120 being something that's hit fairly often early on, because the tools are only going to get better. The way these developers are learning to make this stuff, it's only going to be easier for them to make these things 120 in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. So the fact that we're getting some big ones now, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and the big thing I wanted to talk about for Game Pass, you and I actually discussed privately, Outriders from Square, confirmed day one Game Pass, AAA $60 game. That's a massive deal to me. I've said for a while I thought that was like the big question for Game Pass. Could Microsoft lure newer games from other companies? I feel like they've padded Game Pass with obviously their own games, which they can do whatever they want with. They own them.
Of course.
And then some third parties that probably already made all the money they're going to make. And then a lot of indies. So I've been wondering for a while, could Microsoft convince these bigger developers, these bigger publishers, to give you a new game? They did get Red Dead 2 for a little while. They got Grand Theft Auto 5 for a little while, but neither of them were like particularly new at the time. They're big. But getting Outriders day one is huge for several reasons. One, it means Outriders is now guaranteed a player base. Even if the game doesn't sell well, it's going to have a good amount of people right away because Game Pass is going to allow a lot of people to play without paying for it. 2, it's word of mouth, streaming, stuff like that. Like, because more people are going to be able to get into it for free, they're going to be able to share it to other people and get more people excited about it, get more people involved in it, and it could see more success on other platforms because of that. It could be more successful on PlayStation or PC because someone saw somebody streaming the Series X version or Series S, Xbox One, One S, One X, whatever. Man, it's confusing. There's so many systems these days.
No,
I think it's going to be a big measuring stick for Microsoft. They had to pay money for this. Square didn't just come to them like, hey, we're going to give you our brand new $60 game for free on Game Pass for however much time. And we don't know what that is. It could be 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't know. But they didn't just come to them like, hey, we'll let you give away our free, or our brand new game that's supposed to cost $60. There was money exchanged here. And Microsoft has to be looking at it like, okay, is this going to make enough? Is this going to drive people to Game Pass? Are more people going to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll grab Game Pass, being I can get that Outriders game. And
well,
if
I think
so,
that's what you're going to see.
Say it again.
I think that's what you're going to see. Is you're going to see more people grabbing Game Pass when you're seeing $60 premium titles on Game Pass at launch.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for. I mean, when you look at it, the service is $15 a month, and you get so much already. But if you're going to get an occasional brand new third-party game, that's pretty big.
I agree.
Also, it brings up another question for me as I think about Outriders, because, I said last podcast that I had somehow missed it. I hadn't really seen much of Outriders. And now that I have, I'm like, wow, this actually looks pretty cool to me. But it's about to come out. It's out in like 8 days, and I've missed it. So I'm just like, I don't know how that's possible. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder, could Game Pass save games? You know how like Netflix has like gotten some shows that got canceled elsewhere,
Yeah.
to be brought back, like the Lucifer show. It got canceled. Netflix said, "Hey, we'll do it." So now it's gotten, I think, 2 more seasons already, and it's getting one more. And not just Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, they're all like soaking up these, cult classic or semi-successful shows that people really want another season for, that likely would have just been gone forever, are suddenly getting new life. And I wonder if maybe Game Pass can become that for gaming. Games like a Mirror's Edge that never really did that well and only got a sequel because EA was trying to be nice to the fans. Could it do significantly better on a Game Pass platform and end up becoming a franchise that's actually successful?
Yeah. No, I could see it.
No, I think Game Pass is the future of gaming, man. I think they said they're up to 18 million users. I'd be blown away if they're not at 20 plus by now. I'd be amazed. What is it? It's March 20 something, 22nd, 23rd right now. If they don't hit 25 million by the end of the year, I'll be surprised. Because,
Yeah, me too.
when Halo Infinite launches, uh, just the number of games you're going to see. We're probably going to get a Forza Horizon this year, Horizon 5. Outriders is coming. Square is playing very nice. Outriders, Octopath Traveler, Dragon Quest, all of the Final Fantasies so far that are on Xbox. All the Kingdom Hearts are in there. They must like it. Square's a fairly large company to just be handing games away. And it's getting Microsoft games that otherwise would have never come to Xbox, like Square titles, like the Yakuza series, which I actually forgot. I was supposed to start Yakuza 0 this weekend, but I got caught up on this Bugsnax nonsense. So after I finish this, I'll get on that. I commented on a Twitter post. A guy I follow, Shinobi602. He's always posting some of the best screenshots in gaming, and he posts all these Yakuza ones. And I'm like, all right, you convinced me, man. I'm gonna play. And I meant to play yesterday and today, but then I turned on Bugsnax. So I'll get to Yakuza. That is coming next.
Gotcha.
But that's
Nice.
really that's all I got.
Me too.
Yeah, we wrapped this one up a little bit quicker than the last one. So anyone that sticks it out the whole way, hey, like, subscribe on YouTube, and you can see our Twitter accounts. We are doing some giveaways. You can see on my pinned post on Twitter, and we'll probably have some more stuff coming soon.
I'm
More
sure.
interaction we get, the more, giveaways and whatnot we're gonna do.
Yeah. Stay tuned on our Twitters.
Definitely.